Imagine flying from London to New York in just over 3 hours. The Concorde actually made that possible. On a flight that normally lasts 7.5 hours, it was able to cut that down to under half the time. How is that possible, and why isn't it still flying today? Today, we're taking a look at one of the most powerful airliners that was ever built, that being the Concorde, of course. Known for its immense speeds, high cruising altitudes, and booming sound, it has remained a fan favorite for av geeks around the world. But this video is about more than just the numbers and stats the plane had. It's about a dream for the future that didn't last. So now let's dive into the Concorde and how it changed the world of aviation forever. The Concorde was a supersonic airliner produced by both France and the United Kingdom through the British Aircraft Corporation and Sud Aviation. The first concepts of this aircraft had begun as early as 1954, with the first prototypes being built in 1965, and not 9 years later, my goodness. With the first prototypes being built in 1965, and then 4 years after that is when it had first started flying. It had finally entered service January 21st, 1976, I believe. And that is 22 years after the very start of the project. The Concorde was a tailless aircraft with a narrow fuselage seating 92 to 128 people, give or take. It had an odd wing shape though, with only two ever operational aircraft using that. Those two aircraft was, of course, the Concorde and the Tu-144, which is a direct competitor to the Concorde. Anyways, the wing shape that they use is called an ogival delta wing. I know what a delta wing is. I don't know what the ogival part means to it. Apparently, it's just making the leading edge a little more curved, like an arch kind of curve. I don't know what kind of impact this had on the performance, but in my opinion, it makes the aircraft look more sleek, more elegant, and I just like how it looks in general. Another uncommon thing that this aircraft had was its root nose. So this was used on landings when the AOA would be too high for the pilots to actually see the runway, so the nose would droop down to better assist the pilots and give them better vision and better landing capabilities. Because this is a fancy plane, I should switch into something more elegant, so I gotta take off this RMC hoodie for something a little bit more pristine. My oh my, do I feel rather dashing. This is much more suited for this video, so let's get back into it. So the Concorde wasn't just about sleek wings and engineering on the outside. Inside, it actually offered a flying experience unlike any other passenger jet. So the cabin was actually narrow compared to normal airliners, and it seated just over 100 people, but that gave it an exclusive and premium feel. Passengers sat in a simple but stylish interior, with leather seats and fine service that matched the luxury ticket price. While it didn't have the wide and spacious layouts of other planes, that didn't really matter. And people weren't just flying on the Concorde for comfort, they were flying on it for the speed, prestige status, and chance to be part of aviation history. But who really cares on what it was like on the inside? Because this plane was known for its performance. Cruising at over 60,000 feet at Mach 2, this plane could cross the Atlantic in just over 3 hours. Isn't that insane for an airliner? There's so many fighter jets to this day that can't even surpass Mach 2, let alone cruise at it. My oh my, what a extravagant plane this was. Quite stupendous, I must say. So, while the Concorde fascinated aviation enthusiasts around the world, including myself, even though I was born after it was retired, I was never able to see it fly, it still fascinates me, and that's why I'm making a video off of it. But even though it fascinated everybody, it was way too expensive to build, maintain, and actually fly. The tickets were already high priced, but sometimes on some routes it didn't even cover the cost of the flight, which is insane because that loses the airline money per flight, and you don't want an airliner that does not profit you. That's kind of insane. Its only profitable routes were from, let's see, it was Washington, New York, London, and Paris. All of those routes, they were profitable. The rest, not at all. I don't even know what to say anymore. Another issue that this aircraft had was actually its sound. So, on takeoffs, it was extremely loud due to the immense thrust that it produced, and then also the supersonic boom from when it's flying past the speed of sound was incredibly loud. Most countries actually banned supersonic flight over land, which means that the Concorde only was able to fly past Mach 1 over the oceans. Then came September 11th, 2001. The terrorist attacks caused a massive downturn in the aviation industry. Passenger numbers dropped, the airlines lost money, and fewer people were willing to pay for the expensive flights on the Concorde. Combined with rising fuel prices and the high cost of maintaining an aging fleet, the future of the Concorde became impossible to defend. By 2003, both Air France and British Airways announced that they'd be retiring the aircraft. And then on October 24th, 2003, the Concorde flew its last commercial flight, marking the end of an era. Today, several Concorde aircraft are preserved in museums across the world. Aviation fans can walk up close to them, sit inside the cabins, and see the cockpit where pilots once pushed through the sound barrier. For many people, seeing a Concorde in person is like standing in front of history itself, and it is a reminder of what humanity can achieve when we push technology to its limits. Concorde will always be remembered as more than just an airplane. It was a symbol of innovation and a statement of luxury, and proof that humans could conquer speed itself. Even though its time in the sky was cut short, it will forever remain one of the greatest icons in aviation history. I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.